Hey, this is Scott Lara. Hope you're having a good day. Why Gary Vaynerchuk may be wrong. Be friends. Let me just start off by saying this. I have followed Gary since the wine library days. I love Gary, I really do. He follows me on Twitter, I follow him on Twitter, I love his content. And so let me just begin by saying, Gary says a lot of good stuff. He really does. He's inspired me. I tell you, I had lost a job one time and I was out picking up trash, trying to earn money for my family. And I had Gary in my hearing aids, inspiring me, crushing it, 400 trillion to one, hustle, grind, all that stuff. But I've just got to point out, just like in all these folks I'm going to be talking about, Dave Ramsey, Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, and all these other guys. I just want to share another side of them. And I'm also going to be doing a video about somebody who I really loved was Rush Limbaugh. I had been on his show like 7 or 8 times talking to Rush, and I'll be commenting about him later. God bless you, Rush. Love you. Miss you every day. Especially now. Now more than ever we need Rush Limbaugh. But anyway, going back to Gary. We all know the story. And if you haven't heard the story, just Google it. I was young and building my dad's wine business, and I was only making a couple, thousand a year, and every Friday and Saturday when my friends would pull up in their BMWs going to the Jersey Shore, I'd be carting cases of wine in their Beamers, and they'd go and laugh and have fun and play, and I was working in my dad's wine store. Probably not paying rent, probably not paying for the hot water, probably didn't have a car, he probably just took a walk or a bus or a train to the liquor store. Maybe it was down the street, I don't know. But I understand what Gary is saying. Go out there, hustle. But one thing I do disagree with him about, and this is as a dad, and I know his kids are younger than mine. My kids are 40 and 36. I think his kids are below the age of 15, if I'm correct. And if I'm not correct, put in the comments. You don't need to have things figured out by the time you're 18 or 19 or 21 or 23 or 25. Yeah, Gary, if you're living home with your parents, and you're on your parents' Obama insurance till 26, and if your dad's got a liquor store, or if your dad's got a business, but what parent responsibly is going to let Timmy or Brittany stay in their house till they're 26 or 30 to figure it out? Now, we've all heard Gary talk about college too. I haven't heard him say negative things about college, but I think he does definitely push the entrepreneur button. He definitely pushes the garage sale button, I know that. But what I'm trying to say is you got to listen to Gary in everything that he's saying. And I've listened to thousands of hours of his content. And so I'm just asking you, do you agree with me, that Gary is great, very inspirational, very upbeat? But on the other hand, there's some things that, and listen, no matter what anybody says, your mom, your dad, me, anybody, Obama, Trump, nobody's going to be right 100% of the time. But just some of the stuff Gary's been saying about, like I said, about these kids, you don't need to have it figured out when you're 21 or 22. Let me tell you how I raised my kids. Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was mandatory reading for my 2 kids. I also said, because I live here in Florida, make sure you get the Bright Futures Scholarship, because I can't afford to put you through college. And both my kids got the Bright Future Scholarship, which helped with their college education. My son got a degree from USF, go Bulls, in international business, and my daughter got a degree in communication. And now she's in the nonprofit space, Quest Inc., down there in Orlando. Check them out, Quest Inc. So I disagree with Gary when he says, oh, you 20, 30. And then he kind of throws in the hand grenade. There are people that are 60 or 70 that still haven't got it figured out. Well, we all know that people change jobs 6, 7, maybe even 8 times during a career. I joined the Navy when I was 18. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to go to college. But I'll tell you, and it kind of, the stars kind of lined up. I joined the Navy. I was in 8 years, traveled all over the world. I'm from Chicago. I got down to Florida, met my wife in church, married, 41 years, 2 grown kids. But going back to my point, I'll wrap it up right here. The point that Gary says kids don't need to have it figured out, I disagree with that, and I think parents should give the kid a test. What do you like? You want to work in an office? You want to work outside? You want to, lay asphalt? Do you want to climb a tree and be an electrician? Do you want to join the Navy? Do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to, what do you like? Because you always hear this stuff, if you do something you love, it's not a day of work. Well, to a degree, that's true. On my cruise channel, thecruisegenius.com, or you type in Scott Lara, Lara, you'll see it. Cruise stuff is not work for me. When I go on a cruise ship and get video and talk about cruises, that's not work. It's something I enjoy doing. I make a little bit of money and get to go on free cruises, all that kind of stuff. I get to be on TV, and that kind of thing. This is it right here. Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk. Love him. Think he's got a lot of great stuff. But Gary, I have to disagree with you about try to help your kids figure it out. Sooner the better. Like and subscribe. Please share. Scott Lara. Have a great day.